Hey, good morning everyone, Tractorman 44 here. Hey, take a look at this little cub. There comes a time in everybody's life when they realize that everything that they want to accomplish, they're probably not going to get done. Especially somebody like myself has brought home so many tractors over the years, you know, intending on getting to them, whatever. Well, it's time for me to start thinning out the herd, and there's some of them that I've allowed to set for too long, and they're deteriorated so badly that I'm just going to have to part them out. Now, I swore all along I'd never be a guy to part out a tractor if I could salvage it and make it run. Well, I was also the guy that swore I'd never have a cell phone. I swore I'd never get old. You know, I swore all kind of things, and everything that I swore against, by golly, if I didn't go ahead and go against what I swore against, and became the things that I said I would never become. I said I'd never part out one, but by golly, this guy here is going to go down the highway. I've got all the accessories lined up. I'm getting ready to put them on Marketplace. I'm taking off the sickle bar mower. I'm going to pull the parts and pieces off of this thing and start piecing it out. Let it live on. Let parts of it live on, you know, in some other cub. Because if I just leave it stay here another 10 years, it's just going to go to junkyard anyway. So may as well get a little good out of it and help somebody else at the same time. This motor was really worn out whenever I brought this thing home. It pumped as much oil out the smoke pipe as what it circulated in the crankcase. So it's not like it's really bad that it's sat here and locked up, because it was going to need a total rebuild anyway. There is no water in the crankcase, so even though it's stuck from setting, I think it's definitely rebuildable, just about as good as what it was whenever I brought it home. The sickle bar is already just about ready to drop off of there. I think I've got 3 more bolts. Then I've got to undo this rock shaft linkage right here. But once I get that out, pop this guy off of here, that whole assembly and the rock shaft should come off. Well guys, a couple of bolts drop the drawbar off, and then here's the rear rock shaft. Kind of looks odd without that sickle ball underneath there. And here I got it in the bucket of the little Kubota, complete with the pulley, the drive pulleys. Set it over here with these accessories. There's the little breaking plow. That's probably a 12-inch, a 112, complete with coulter right there. And also here's a, I'm not sure if this is a mid-mount or a front mount, or both mid or front mount blade. And then of course here's what I think is pretty much a full set of cultivators. And right there in the center, the hand-operated handle that goes with the braking plow. It's kind of hidden in there. Well, it's starting to look just a little bit different with some parts and pieces off of it. Just a little bit of rust in the gas tank. I didn't realize that was all one piece right there. I don't know what kind of joint they have on it, but that's all one piece. There's a grill and the headlights. One of the headlights is kind of broken, but not the glass, it's the electrical part. Still set up for 6 volts. There's a 6-volt generator that's going to come off, and a 6-volt starter. I'll bench test the starter. I'll go ahead and pull the distributor, pull the whole hydraulic system off as one. And of course the radiator looks to be really good shape. Steering linkages on these things are all the time bent up. This one, however, is not too bad. Most of the time, these cast iron steering arms, or whatever you call those guys right there, most of the time those guys are actually broken and rebrazed, but this one here has never been broken. Radiator's in excellent condition. Carburetor didn't fare so well though. The carburetor is really rusty. That's far enough for today. I only had a couple hours to fiddle with this thing. Well guys, we got a lot of stuff off of it now. We're getting ready to go ahead and remove the control valve, the lifting arms here. Essentially all you have to do on this guy here, as I can understand, you see your hydraulic connections right here that carry the steel pipe carries the hydraulic to and from the hydraulic pump right here. So this is nothing but a control valve controlled by your hand lever up by the steering wheel. So with these bolts out of here, you can see I leaked a little bit of oil right there as I pulled these fittings off, but there is no physical connection to the drivetrain at all. This should just be sitting right there on top. Should be able just to lift and pick it right off. Yeah, it's cracked loose. Well, I didn't say it'd be light. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, just like I thought. There's no physical connection except for these drilled holes for those pins, those locking pins to line in so that it'll withstand the pressure instead of just having your 4 bolt holes on a corner. Those are like 9/16 mounting bolts with 3/4 inch heads. So that makes sure that all the shear is not just on those 4 bolts, but all of these other attachment points are those pins right there. Actually really a very good concept. Well, with the seat, the battery box, steering column, steering wheel, hydraulic system, and everything all disassembled, it's time to go ahead and drop that front bolster off. I've got everything loose to where 1 bolt should be all I need to drop that front bolster off. I've got it supported with a good heavy stand in the center right there, the torque tube. So hopefully that bolster will come off and leave the motor just hanging right out in front. It's a whole lot easier working with these little bitty guys than the bigger tractors, but still there's a heck of a lot of weight here, and if you're not real careful, you're going to mash a toe. Oh, and that brings up another point. I've been after the missus to get me some composite-toed safety shoes, you know, for working around here in the summertime, and so I always wear leather work boots. Well, this time I went with tennis shoes just for the summer. I used to wear those years ago, and I've been a while without them. So that's what I've been doing. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. But you do have to be concerned because, you know, a lot of times it doesn't hit you right on the toe. It hits you back behind the toe. And if it does that, it'll break the back of that composite down right on the back of your toes, right where they bend, right where they come in contact with your foot. And that's a bad day for sure. The best scenario is not let any of that happen. You ain't gonna believe this. There's a little half shield right here at the very bottom, protecting the bottom of the flywheel. I forgot to take that little thin sheet metal half shield off. There's that little shield at the very bottom of the flywheel. Should come out pretty easy now. That's the way it's supposed to come out when you get everything taken off. Okay, I'm actually down to the transmission and the final drive, so I have to pull those things apart. And if they're still pretty good and intact inside and nothing looking real bad, I'll sell those as individual pieces. Well, anyway, guys, this is really not a sales video, but if you accidentally do see something that could benefit you, you can always just ask a question or something. See, we can try to figure out how to get it to you. Everything is going to be real reasonable. You know, I'm not going to retire off of one silly tractor. You know what I mean? There's a hydraulic control and cylinder. Radiator is excellent. I mean, it is absolutely excellent. There's a hydraulic pump and the lines and everything there. There's a John Deere 50 radiator. Wonder where that's going to go. And of course the motor, I'm going to put that on the engine stand and we'll break that apart. And if the crank and everything is good, I'll go ahead and check the dimensions and all that stuff, you know. And I sell the crank, different internal parts. And well, guys, I told you at the beginning of the video that I always swore I was never going to be somebody to strip tractors and sell them. You know, but sometimes you just got to know when to say when. This little guy was just too far gone. It's my fault. I just didn't keep on top of it, you know, because I got so many other things to do and so many other things to do besides tractor work. It finally deteriorated to the point where, you know, it's time to part it out. Hopefully I'll be able to get my money back. That's all I really care about anyway. There is some good stuff here. You know, there's some that's not so good too, you know what I mean. That one wheel just rotted plumb away. I can't believe that. I don't even know how that happened on me, you know. Just one day I drove by and it's like, wow, that thing actually fell over. It's rusted so bad. Of course, they had fluid in the tires, you know, this little guy, and that pretty much took it, you know. But at any rate, that's all there are to it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this first disembowelment video that I've ever done. Not saying there won't be others in the future, but for now, this stands to be the first one and hopefully the only one. Well, there might be another one coming, I don't know. But you know what? This is Tractorman 44, and I'm out of here, guys.